Usually I'm down here to make a cup of coffee or tell a funny story or do a coloring sheet or do something in regards to that kind of content, but this is going to be off brand, I guess, for me. Not that I'm really a brand. My husband and I were given free tickets by the Angel Production, which produced the movie The Sound of Freedom. And I didn't even hear of it, and that says a lot because my personal For You page and things that are shown to me usually are geared towards that kind of stuff because I am always researching true crime and situations and statistics for True Crime and Coffee Time, that in all reality this should have been pushed to me on an ad because this isn't out of the realm of things that are on my search engine for True Crime and Coffee Time. So I was a little displeased that it wasn't being advertised, not by the production crew. They were advertising it, but by media sources, and that's because the heavy context of the film, it was being shadowed. If you don't know what The Sound of Freedom is, it is a movie that was made 5 years ago that is just now hitting the theaters because Netflix turned it down. Disney bought it and they weren't going to do anything with it, and it is based on a true story, and it is a powerful film. I'm gonna try and say words a little differently so that this doesn't get shadow banned or deleted or flagged. The movie is about the schmafficking of children and the abuse that they endure because of it. I have a small story and where I have a small impact because of it. It's not my story, and even though I'm in it and it hurt and it impacted me, it's nothing compared to those that it is their story. But the movie at the end says that the storytellers are the people that are the heroes of the story. They are the people that convey the message. So I want to tell you how I have seen trafficking. I don't know how else to say it. I'm sorry, on this app firsthand, and how I've been impacted. I have from a young age, the age of 7 or 8, have always nannied, babysat, or watched children, especially in the church nursery I was a part of. I would run the nursery usually alone because the adults didn't want to miss out on service or activities, and I kind of found more entertainment playing, with the babies and the children than listening to some old guy preach the gospel. That's just the reality. There's many children that I fell in love with, and I always made sure I was on their nursery shift because I love them so much that I began not doing every other week, but I was in that nursery every single week. I was there Sundays, I was there Wednesdays, I was there fill-ins. I just loved these children. Now, I loved most of the children I worked with, but there were 2, and they were a sibling of a family of 4, family of 6, 4 children. They had a slightly older brother who I believe at the time was, I want to say 3 or 4, and they had an older sister that was about 4 or 5. Now they were twin girls. They were about, I want to say 5 to 6 months when I started watching them. They were very small, very adorable, amazing children. They might have even been younger. I remember them being tiny in car seats, so they might have been, honestly, even younger. I loved these girls. I have talked about these girls for years. They made me want to be a teacher, which is why I got my degree. They made me want to be a mother. They made me just I loved these girls, and I think everyone knew that. I was the only one that could tell them apart in the staff. I was the only one that was always in there, and my husband and I usually worked in there together because there was 2 of them, so he would always hold one, I would hold the other. Did I have a favorite? I don't know. I loved them both, but he always seemed to have one, and I always seemed to have one, and it was always the same one. I won't disclose their name or any personal, but I will share a picture where they've been protected. So this is me. This was 9 years ago. These are the little twin girls, so this is a true story, I promise. So it was about, they had just turned 9 months to a year at this point, and we had got news that they had gone missing, and my heart began to drop, and I was like, they went missing, someone kidnapped them, what happened? And I can't tell the whole story because it's long and it's chaotic, and I was young at the time. It was 9 years ago, that I don't remember all the pieces of it. I just remember being in panic. It came out that there was a manhunt for them and their 2 siblings because the mother decided to sell them for schmug money. Their own mother. So, it was a manhunt to find them because they couldn't, if they crossed the lines, it was like, it was gonna be hard to track them, and they were caught right at the lines. Now, again, I was a child. All I remember being told, I don't recall the whole story of what happened to the twins. I just knew they were safe, but I do recall some of the stories of how the two older ones were transported and how they were in dog cages and covered in bugs and filthy. And those two kids, I do not know what happened to them. The twins went back to their father, but these two kids were not biologically this man's, so I'm assuming they went to the system or went to maybe a relative. I am not sure. Their mother was charged, of course, and the twins I did not see until a year later. I saw them one single time, and that was, I believe that was, so it could be 9 or 10. That was about 9 years ago. I saw them once and then I never saw them again. Again, the father had a lot of run-ins with the law, so I am only one to suspect he didn't keep them for a while or he wasn't able to bring them. And when I saw them, they were very empty and they were distant and their eyes just were robotic. I wish nothing but for me to know that they are safe and that they don't remember anything and they are happy and they are joyful. And I always say to my husband, he said, if we pass them on the street, would you recognize them? I said, I'd like to think so, because I remember them, and it's almost like that one last time I saw them, I knew it was going to be the last time, and it's like I remembered everything about them. And I don't know why. I don't know if I did it because I just wanted them to know I loved them. But I only saw them 1 or 2 times after they were rescued, and after that I didn't see them any longer. So this happens everywhere, and I know this is a long video. You can watch it, or it can be shadow banned my account for a while. I really don't care. Because this is happening. This happened 9 years ago, 10 years ago, and it's still happening, and I guarantee it's gotten worse. This was someone by their own mother, but this is happening by strangers. This is happening by auditions, model agencies. This is happening so many things. That I encourage you to please watch the movie. If you can't afford it, if you don't want to pay for it, fine. Here's a free ticket. Go get a free ticket. Follow this link and go get a free ticket. Because if you've never heard of this, you need to know the severity. And if you're someone like me that has heard of it, and you've had your small personal story or something of that nature, sometimes you need a reminder of what you're fighting for. So please go here. Please find your local resources. If you need help or anything of that nature, please find your local campaigns. One personally I know of is the A21 campaign, but there are several others. Please go see this movie. Go fill the seats of the theater. I encourage you, because I think this is gonna sit heavy with me for a